Do you remember any of what happened?
I can't do this anymore. Because I can't be who you want me to be. It was all just a fantasy. I escaped. We can go.
This is good if you don't mind.
We're not going away, Arthur. All we had was the fantasy, and you gave up. There is no Joker. That's what you said, isn't it?
We started talking about finding a new story to tell with the character. And midway through the first one, I had a friend of mine come down. We did a photo shoot with the on-set photographer and mocked up posters for Todd. That was what it might be like if we did another film and introduced what ended up being the lead character. It was something that I definitely wanted to explore more.
The first one was really such a huge success for us, and it was a whirlwind with everything. Also kind of the controversy of the first one. It was a lot to go through. It took a long time to kind of get over that, and then at the same time, COVID was starting, so the world felt like it was getting even crazier.
Welcome to our production meeting. I think we'll just get going. We'll go through the full shooting schedule. There's a few notes. We have 66 days in LA. So that brings us to Arkham. We're basically trying to shoot in continuity for the actors and for the arc. We have basically Arthur, 10 SAG inmates, 2 stunt inmates, and then 26 background. And then guards, we have Jackie, another 8 SAG guards, and then 2 stunt guards, which can swing into action for any of the takedowns and inmate control.
Big day today. Better put on a happy face.
I'm really excited about this film. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be really hard. And here we go. So get into it.
Okay, guys, back to work.
Movies tend to hold a mirror up to sort of society or where we're at that moment, culture at least. Well, Arthur says in the first one, is it just me or is it getting crazier out there?
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Which I think if you're watching it, you're going, yeah, no, it's not just you. And in this film, we were more thinking what the world needs now is love. That's the kind of thing, like, we don't really talk about, even with Joaquin, because we kind of just like to begin where we begin. Do you know what I mean? So it's not so much about let's fill in these 2 years and figure out where he's at. It's more like this is where he is now. So it felt right for him not to talk.
Hey, Flat, got a joke for us today?
In fact, the first line in the movie from him is, "Can I have a cigarette?" which also seemed appropriate.
Part of that is like, what would Arthur say in the beginning? You know, you're not going to add lines for the sake of, oh, it's been 10 minutes, he should say something. You know, it's whatever the script and the story warrant.
I love talking to Todd, and I like the way that he solves problems, and he's pretty fearless.
I said I could make an argument that he's not as skinny, and Joaquin's like, no, absolutely. In fact, he wanted to be skinnier.
He really doesn't run from what might be uncomfortable. You're spending 6 months with somebody, you just want to be able to like them and be able to have an argument with them and then be able to talk to them and be friends the next day.
Somebody who is throwing shapes. I can't stand people who throw shapes on set. But somebody like Joaquin who has the integrity of what he's searching for, there's a generosity. It's not a selfishness. He's endlessly generous in what he's trying to achieve.
You know, with Joaquin, what I learned early on the first movie was he's just better the better people you put him up against. So you get a heavyweight in there with Joaquin. somebody like Brendan Gleeson.
Welcome to Joker. You know, we're going to start as far as our workflow with the crane shot that we rehearsed the other day, with the guards opening up the cells.
Stand by for a quick sec.
From a safety standpoint, we're not going to have everybody on the crew hanging out up here. It's going to be combatants only. Have a great day, so let's have at it. Thank you.
It feels so real to be here and a little scary. It doesn't feel like Hollywood. It feels like a human experience that you can connect to on so many levels.
Todd and Francine Maisler, the casting director, and all the people involved in assembling this mosaic of inmates, lunatics, criminals. It's spectacular.
The reality of it is very much a reality that you would never want to be a part of.
I'm always a little bit wary where people start casting people because they have wonderful faces. And so there had to be a sensitivity to the human respect going on within the set.
It's an interesting lot. You know, there's some actors, there are some people that they found that fit into the mold of the people that you would expect to see at Arkham Asylum.
A couple of guys have actually done time in places like this.
Now that I've got to know so many of them in character in this world, you start to feel like you're all part of one big living, breathing organism of potential danger.
The fact that some people think that Arthur Fleck is a martyr is sick.
It's a powder keg.
So Ricky's getting dragged out, and somebody's yelling, "Leave him alone." And there's a little bit of protest and a little bit of clamoring still. Calm down. So calm down. It means calm down.
Have you gotten to meet Joaquin?
I don't know who Joaquin is.
The Joker.
Oh, yes. He spoke to me today. Yeah, he asked me how I was doing. I told him I'm doing fine. He said, cool. I said, cool. And he went on about his business, finished acting. He's a nice person, though.
Everyone is just real people, and that's something that I feel like brings that aspect to the last movie and this movie as well.
I was sitting outside the apartment. The lady stopped and interviewed me and told me I fit the part.
All very strange, because to have two people want to come up to your room and take pictures of you and video of you sounds suspect at best. But they explained what was going on, and I figured it was, I like movies, and I had a real interest in being involved in movies, so I kept saying yes.
There's some extraordinary things that came of it, and sometimes you just say, I don't know if that person is a brilliant actor or not. Yeah, I just didn't know. It was fabulous, and it didn't matter.
You want it to feel as grounded in reality as possible. So that goes with wardrobe and background players to set design.
Rolling?
Rolling.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
The fact that Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix are secure enough to go with their instincts is unique. There's this authenticity. It doesn't look like a film that's been designed by a committee.
What you're looking at behind us is the bottom half of the minimum security build, where Arthur will take this portal to the place where color starts to happen in our story.
The opening of our movie, we wanted almost like a black and white film, so we made sure the colors were essentially black and white.
Every ceiling, every wall, every window has age, character, paint, rust. It's as real as it can be. That lets the actors immerse themselves in storytelling and brings the script to life.
The cell numbers here are the first issue that Joker appeared in. Those are the details that blow my mind.
The color palette in the beginning of this film very much leaves where we left off in the first film, and it's not until Lee is introduced, and it is not until magic comes back into Arthur's life and music comes back into Arthur's life that things start to shift for him.
This is where
Arthur and Lee start their folie à deux. Color brings life into his blood, and from there they start their fantasy together.
The sets that Mark built were pretty astonishing. Arkham had the kind of sets that you go in and you get lost in those corridors. Everything was accessible and it felt authentic, so it's a huge part of helping the actors find their place within the world.
I think that really informed Joaquin. He's been in such a dark place like, Arkham State Hospital, this institution / prison for 2-3 years. He's just absolutely disconnected. He's lost whatever spark he had at the end of the first film, whatever life he had in him at the end of the first film, and we're kind of meeting a beaten down, broken Arthur.
Can I have a cigarette?
Of course you can.